Hello everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class, the first in today's week. I hope you've had a good couple of days, a holiday on the weekend, maybe a strong start to Monday and Tuesday. My name is Adrian and I am broadcasting to you this live IELTS class from beautiful Budapest, capital city of Hungary, where we are going into late fall or mid-fall weather. All right. Hi, Aman Kumar. Hi, Tarkil Islam. Hi, Pooja. Good to see you all in class. So many students joining in. Hi, Manpreet. Hope everything's going well. Hi, Jubilant James. It's still afternoon here, but I'm guessing for you it might be evening. All right, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about IELTS pronunciation mastery. So we'll talk about pronunciation in the IELTS. And I'll give you some good information to help you understand that more clearly and to help you prepare for that. It's a popular topic among students, and I've also realized that a lot of students really don't quite get what pronunciation is in IELTS. So we'll talk about that. Our materials are coming from our websites at aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Definitely check us out there. And if you're studying for general IELTS, then visit us at gieltshelp.com. I'm writing the URLs up here so you can refer to them at any time in this video. This is definitely one of the videos that you might want to come back later and check out on our channel again. We'll keep it up for a while. Hi, Mohammed, one of our members jumping in. Hope you're doing great. All right. If you go to your iTunes or Google Play Store, you can download our app as well. It's Academic IELTS Help. We're always uploading our app, so it's good to have. All right. As well, some of you might have seen this already. I've put up a brand new complete IELTS Speaking Part 1, How to Get High Scores video on our channel here, as well as on our General IELTS channel. That's a great video to give you some very good points, 4 points actually, on how to improve your band score for the speaking of IELTS. And there's some actual interview examples there as well for you to observe and learn from. And again, remember, and I can see some students commenting that you've seen that video. That's great. Okay. And again, remember, join our premium course on our websites. It's loaded with strategies, examples, practice for you to really improve your IELTS band scores quickly and not have to pay a ton of money to sit the IELTS a second time. You can also get our books from Amazon. So if you go to your Amazon online, look for AE Helps Academic IELTS. You'll find our exam books. We use those in these live classes. They're just like the real exams, so they're there to help. GE Helps General IELTS is our general books. If you have questions, comments, concerns about our products or about IELTS, always feel free to send me an email. My name, Adrian, at aehelp.com. Thank you for that feedback, by the way, students who are letting me know that you've liked that Part 1, How to Get High Scores on that speaking video. Okay, so just as we get going here with the actual lesson, IELTS live streaming schedule is still according to Central European Time. It is October 24th to 30th, this schedule. Today, we're doing pronunciation mastery. We will be doing an HD video on this topic since it is a hot topic. Tomorrow, we'll do maybe speaking part 2 and 3 because we'll do an actual little bit of speaking part 1 today with pronunciation. Then we'll do some task 2 writing practice on Saturday, on Friday. And then on Saturday, we will do a members chat only. I'm sure some of you are watching the chat. You see these names that are green with the little hero heads beside them. Those are IELTS heroes. Those are our members. Our members get access to exclusive videos, get to request classes, and access to our exams as well. 28th, we're doing a video shoot. 29th, 30th, those are Mondays and Tuesdays, no class. All right, let's talk about pronunciation. So I know you guys are thinking, hey, Adrian, that's great. You've told us a lot of info, but how about let's talk about a bit about pronunciation. So let's do that. All right, so I think a big question a lot of students have is how important is pronunciation for IELTS, okay? And you should be thinking, I think many of you probably are thinking about the speaking section here. So when I'm speaking in the speaking section, how important is my pronunciation? If I have good or bad pronunciation, what's going to happen to my score? But another way that you should be thinking about pronunciation is not just for speaking, but also for listening, okay? So in the listening section of IELTS, they use mostly British English. Sometimes you'll hear a New Zealand or an Australian accent. Rare cases, you might hear a Canadian accent as well. Why do you think IELTS might mix an Australian or a New Zealand accent into the listening section? Any ideas about that? Well, let me tell you. It's because the United Kingdom, of course, being an imperial country, has British colonies around the world, right? Called the Commonwealth countries. I'm Canadian. Canada is a Commonwealth country. And IELTS is used for immigration, of course, in these countries as well. And because they're British Commonwealth countries and IELTS comes from Cambridge, comes from Britain, they think, hey, you know what? Might as well mix some of those accents in. So they do that sometimes. So it is a good idea to pay attention to New Zealand, Australian, Canadian accents as well as British accents. That's for the listening. Now, also in the listening for British accents, you have to realize that there are different accents in the UK. So different parts of England have different accents. They don't usually have Scottish or Irish accents in IELTS. I've never heard of any. But definitely there's different accents around the UK. Some of them are very thick. Some of them are more easy to understand. So be familiar with those, okay? Listen to BBC Radio and other popular British broadcasting channels to get familiar with those accents, okay? So the listening uses mostly British or English accents, okay? Sometimes Kiwi. Kiwi is New Zealand, Australian, and Canadian. So make sure that you pay attention to that, okay? Now, of course, in the speaking section, you have to realize that the accents used in the speaking section of IELTS, yeah, and there's some really good TV shows like Doctor Who. Doctor Who's a British TV show. It's a science fiction. Some people really love it. Watch British movies, absolutely. Some good suggestions there by John Noriello. So if you guys and girls are looking at the chat, you'll see some students suggesting different programs to watch. Okay, so the speaking is international. Sometimes students think that if I go to the speaking, it will be somebody with an English accent. Maybe. But there's a good chance that it's not, okay? Depending on where you are in the world, you can have a lot of different examiners for the speaking section of IELTS. You could have someone from the UK, but it's very common to have an English speaker from Canada, the US, Australia. So there, in the speaking interview, be ready to hear just about any accent. I've even heard, I'm not sure if it's a myth, but I've even heard of IELTS speaking interviewers who are very fluent in English, but they're not native speakers of English. So they might have a slightly different accent, okay? So be ready for that, okay? So not just in your speaking, but also in your listening, you have to expand your ability for different English accents, okay? It's very important. So in the speaking, be ready for many different types of English accents, okay? American, Canadian, and even that's not true because there are different kinds of Canadian and American accents. There's West Coast Canadian, that's what I speak. West Coast American, West Coast Canadian, They're very similar. East Coast American, East Coast Canadian, they're very similar. Central American, Canadian, again, so lots of different accents there, okay? American, Canadian, UK, Australian, to name a few, and international. Okay, so be ready. All right, so this is just a little bit of a warm-up to accents and background information. I will get into practicing accents with you here in a second, so just bear with me. I want to clear up a couple of important details and points before we get into practicing difficult sounds and different words and different accents. So let's talk about some myths about pronunciation in the IELTS. Does everybody know the meaning of the word myth? What that actually means? What is a myth? So when I say common myths or myths about pronunciation, what am I actually telling you? Anybody have an idea of where I'm going with that? So Sophia says beliefs or understandings. Mohammed says maybe misconceptions. Naveen says some popular ideas that may not be true. Yeah, Naveen, that's a nice way to put it. So popular beliefs, let's say it like that. Popular beliefs that are not necessarily true. Okay. And here, number one, is my strong accent or pronunciation will make my speaking score go down. Okay? This is not necessarily true. Okay? So a lot of students out there think, hey, that person has such a strong accent. I bet you that they're going to get a really low score in the speaking section of IELTS. Absolutely not. Even if you have a strong or a thick accent, we actually say it's a thick accent. Even if you have a thick accent in English, you can still get a very good score. You can get a band 8.5, okay? As long as I understand what you're saying. So if you have a thick accent, but I can clearly understand what you are telling me when you give me information, you will get a very good score, all right? You might get a little bit of a minus on being natural, but you're not going to lose a lot of marks, okay? And conversely, so on the other hand, or opposite to, someone might have a very clear pronunciation, okay, so very clear use of English words, but they might have mispronunciation or bad pronunciation for some key words, okay? And if those key words make it difficult to understand what the student is actually telling me, then they can lose marks, okay? So the key here is the importance of pronunciation on IELTS is connected mostly to comprehension, okay? If I understand you clearly, it doesn't matter if you have a thick accent or you have a nice British or Canadian or American accent. You can get good scores. If you have a thick accent or a slight accent, but you mispronounce words such that I don't know what you're telling me, then you will lose marks. Okay, because your comprehension goes down. You're losing them because of pronunciation, but your pronunciation is affecting the comprehension score. All right? So keep that in mind, okay? And I've seen students, a lot of students comment on some of our speaking interview videos, oh, that student's pronunciation is terrible. I think that's why they got such a low mark. No, it's not true, okay? In most of our videos, even students that have a thick accent, it's clear what they're saying. So as long as the pronunciation does not impede comprehension, it has little to no effect on marks. Okay, conversely, means on the other hand, if I cannot understand what the student is saying because of poor or mispronunciation, marks go down. Okay, so that is the truth here. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. Now, another interesting myth about pronunciation, and some people believe this, is if you're over the age of, let's say, 20, you can't improve your pronunciation. That's not true either. It can be a little bit more difficult to do, but you can absolutely train the tongue just like any other muscle in the body, as long as you actively do it, to improve pronunciation, okay? So it is not possible to improve pronunciation after 15 years of age. It's not true. Absolutely not true. I've seen this, okay? So don't believe that either, all right? All right, going on to the next point here, your mark goes down if your pronunciation changes the meaning of words and thereby changes the meaning of sentences and what you're saying. You know this when a person, especially a native speaker, says something like, say what? Or come again? Or say that again? Or what did you say? If you hear your teacher or your partner, your speaking partner, say these sentences or these phrases, then you should stop and think, hey, wait a second, am I pronouncing some of these words incorrectly? Maybe I should focus on that and correct. Do not ignore these signs, okay? So don't ignore these signs. Make sure to follow up on them. So ask the person, did you not understand what I just said, or did you not understand some of my words? Not understand what I'm trying to say because of the information or my pronunciation. Okay? Don't assume. Okay, so don't assume that you know why your listener didn't understand you. Now, don't ask that from your interviewer in the IELTS, but when you're practicing that, or when you're traveling to another country, or when you're dealing with somebody on the phone, or in an education situation in English, stop and ask this question, okay? It's a really important feedback for you to do that. So say, sorry, did you not understand what I'm saying because of my information? Or is it something with the words that I'm using that you didn't understand? So get that feedback, okay? Pay attention to that. All right, let's start getting into some actual practice for pronunciation. So let's talk about some sounds, all right? So this is the theory that I showed you. Keep this in mind. Okay, these are some very important points for IELTS and for pronunciation. And now let's talk a little bit about actual sounds. So English is what's called a phonetic language. Okay, phonetic language means that sounds are formed in different ways than what you actually see written down. Some languages you pronounce every letter the way that you see it written. Hungarian is like this, where I'm living right now, okay? It's a non-phonetic language. You actually can spell each sound with one letter. But English is not like that. English has a lot of sounds, but only 26 letters in the alphabet. So you have to practice phonetics. Phonetics is the practice or the study of sounds in the English language. Even the word ph here is not phonetics, it's phonetics. So the ph is an F sound in this case. So it's not said the same way that it's written. Exactly, Jubilant James, okay? If you Google phonetics, you can find out a lot of information about this, okay? And I highly suggest taking a few minutes and Googling phonetics in English? Okay, on Google, you can actually find phonetics in American English, British English. The computer will actually say the sounds to you, turn up your speaker, repeat them, all right? Some of the most commonly mispronounced sounds in the English language around the world are R and L, S and TH, okay? So S, TH, R, and L. We'll focus on those. Phonetics is a big study. You can spend hours and hours with it. As you develop your language, it is good to focus on it more and more. You will get better and better as you practice it attentively. R and L are especially difficult for a lot of Asian languages, especially East Asian languages like Chinese, Japanese, Korean. So there's a lot of mixtures. Why? Because those sounds don't exist in those languages. So the muscles of the tongue we train early in our childhood, and our brain gets fossilized, crystallized in the ways that it uses the muscles of the tongue. But the brain is amazing, and it's always able to learn more and more. So you can train it to master these sounds, okay? And when you mispronounce these sounds in the speaking section of IELTS, you could make comprehension mistakes which make your score go down, okay? So here's an example I put up here for you. This is grass, and this is glass. I've heard many students say glass instead of grass. And if I ask you, what did you do yesterday? And you say, I cut the glass yesterday so my kids could play outside. I would look at you and say, really? You cut the glass so your kids could play outside? What do you keep them in, like a glass bubble or something? So there in that sentence, it's very important to correctly pronounce that R sound, okay? So I cut the grass in the backyard so my kids can play outside, okay? Same thing with the S. The S is a very important sound in English. It's used in a lot of words, and it's used for plurals and singulars, okay? So here, the word clothes, okay? I bought some new clothes at the mall. I need to hear that S, because otherwise, if you say, I bought some new clothes at the mall, then I'm going to look at you and go, what did you do exactly at the mall? Okay, so you have to invest time to get better and more accurate at these key sounds so you don't make comprehension mistakes. Let's see how you can do that. That's probably your question right now. Say, okay, Adrian, how can I do that? All right, how can I do that? I've included into this lesson these pictures for phonetics, okay? These are diagrams of course, the mouth and the parts of the anatomy that are important in forming these sounds, okay? Pay attention to the differences in the openings of the trachea here. As well as the forming of the tongue and the teeth and the lips, okay? So here, firstly, we can look at the R sound. And you notice that here the tongue is down. It's kind of got this strange bulging shape. And then it's got this kind of dotted shape here versus the L. Okay, the L has this more smooth shape in the back of the tongue, and it has a much closer connection to the upper inside of the mouth with the tip of the tongue, okay? And you notice that there's no movement here, okay? So it's just one form of the tongue, but here you notice these two different forms of the tongue because the R sound in English is formed with the movement of the tongue, as where the L sound is more stationary and formed with the air being pushed through the tongue. Okay? So when you look at these pictures, you get an idea of what your tongue needs to do from the side. Okay, I've only have the side pictures here. You can actually find pictures where you're looking at it head on as well. Now, the English language is a beautiful language. That's why a lot of people like music in English. Anybody know what language English comes from? What is the mother language of English? Thanks, Naveen. These are the standard medical images for forming sounds. So Juan Pablo says, well, Latin is part of it. Yeah, Arabic is part of it as well. There are 800 words used commonly in everyday English. But if we're looking closer in time, then English comes from Germany. It's a Germanic language, okay? So English is considered a Germanic language. And New English is coming from French. And of course, French is coming from Latin. So those of you who are saying Latin, you're not far off, okay? Greek is quite different, Sarah. So when you think about English, the best way to think about it is think about Germanic and think about French origins, okay? That's why English is quite interesting because Germanic sounds are quite rough. There's r, k, g. So they're quite heavy, powerful, impactful sounds, as well as where French is a much more melodic, smooth, flowing sounds coming from Latin. Now, English incorporates both, okay? So English takes the soft sounds of Latin-based languages, especially French, and takes the rougher sounds of the Germanic language and combines these. That's why pronunciation in English is so tricky. But that's also why it's such a beautiful language because of that range of sound, and it makes it very beautiful for song and poetry, and for speech, of course. So the tongue has more difficult tasks to master this broad range of strong sounds like R's, L's, K sounds, and then the softer sounds of th and s, okay, and sh. All right, so here we have this R, and we're going to practice this in a minute, these R sounds. I'll get you back on my screen here. So what I recommend doing when you're practicing these R sounds is stand in front of a mirror, or you could use your phone and do selfies or selfie videos, and actually kind of videotape yourself or watch yourself in the mirror as you form these sounds, and record yourself on your phone. So record yourself on your phone, stand close to a mirror like this. Okay, I'm going to try to get close on the camera. Go ra, ra, la, 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 ra, ra, la. And record yourself, okay? Record yourself making the sound. Record yourself saying words. Then pay attention to the images and the sounds that work best for the well-pronounced words. Okay? Why am I telling you this? Why is this good practice? Humans are visual. Okay? The human brain is amazing at being able to take visual information and translating it into muscular or motor information. So when you actually watch somebody throw a rock, your brain can actually train the muscles in your arm, your back, your head, your neck to repeat that movement, okay? So humans are visual, and our visual brain ability is absolutely capable of influencing our muscular abilities, okay? Alejandro Valiz, you're a human. I'm certain of it. Your brain can do this as well, okay? So yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right. So that's the R and the L sound, okay? Practice them. R, la, okay? La, la, not a lot of movement there. Ra, ra, much more tongue movement there, okay? And then the other two sounds here are th and s. Now again, with th and s, notice that you have a very similar shape of the tongue and the mouth, okay? The difference here, notably, is here, where S is much closer to the roof of the mouth, and the air is forced through that small opening to make that S sound and through the teeth, okay? That's where that sound comes from. With the th, okay, like thinking, the tongue is close here, but you don't force it through the teeth. You simply force it through the upper portion of the tongue, the air. Okay? So here you're forcing it through the tongue and the teeth to make the S sound, and here to make the th sound, you're simply just gently pushing your tongue towards the roof of your mouth and allowing the air to flow through. You kind of use your tongue to push the air through to make that sound. Okay, so you have the idea, you have visually at least the idea now of what to do. So now you need to get into actually exercising the tongue, okay? Here is a wonderful, beautiful way to do that, all right? So here is a good way to exercise your tongue. Make sure you have some water with you. You notice I've brought a nice big glass of water with me today. And I'm already running low, as you definitely want to have a wet whistle, as they say in English, when you're practicing pronunciation, okay? So, okay? So again, use a phone and a mirror for these exercises. So have that visual reference, okay? Have a visual reference. It's super important. I can't emphasize that enough. Have a visual reference and feedback, okay, of what you're actually doing. So allow your eyes to see that. All right, now girls and guys, this is a speaking lesson, so I really hope that you're not just watching me silently, but you're also repeating what I say, okay? So make sure you repeat what I say. And here, as we're doing this work with the phonetics, the sounds, the R's, the L's, the TH, the th, the s sounds, make sure to repeat. Most of you have likely heard about these. They're called tongue twisters with different sounds. You can search for them online as tongue twisters with R's or tongue twisters with L's. And I've taken a few of these and written them down. So let's practice these. Make sure you say these nice and loud at home, okay? This is great for pronunciation practice. And this is how we do it. And this is what you should do at home, okay? So at first, practice individual sounds, like in the pictures that I showed you. R, L, TH, th, S, sh, S. Okay, so practice the individual sounds. If you don't get them perfect in the beginning, especially for some of those Asian students that it's really tricky for those R's, don't worry about it. Just keep pushing. You'll get there. Use those visual cues. Then go to individual words. Then go to coupled words, so word pairs. Then slowly say the phrases and then say them quickly, okay? So don't just jump right at one of these tongue twisters and try to say it as fast as you can. Jerry's jelly berries taste really rare, okay? Don't jump right at it. Not a good way. Start small, okay? So first, just pronounce the word Jerry. Jerry, Jerry. Say it at least twice. Jerry's jelly, Jerry's jelly, okay? Repeat after me. Jerry's jelly, okay? And then go to 3 words. Jerry's jelly berries, okay? So again, Jerry's jelly berries taste really rare, okay? Repeat after me. Jerry's jelly berries taste really rare, okay? All right, let's do some more of these. So let's go through these. Rory's lawn rake rarely rakes really right. Rory's lawn rake rarely rakes really right. Okay? All right, let's do it faster. Rory's lawn rake rarely rakes really right. Good. I'm sure you guys are all and girls are all giving tons of effort at home. So just keep going. We'll do a couple more of these L's and R's. The road's load. The road's load is lessened lightly. Okay? One more time. The road's load is lessened lightly. And of course, if you're saying, hey, Adrian, I've got this, no problem. It's so easy peasy, piece of cake. That's great. On your own, when we're done this video, you can look back and try to do it even faster. Go faster. Really train your tongue to move quickly. Okay, let's do a couple more. Lassie Lily likes Ronnie's rulers. Lassie Lily likes Ronnie's rulers. Lassie Lily likes Ronnie's rulers. Lad Larry rarely loves Lears. Lad Larry rarely loves Lears. Lad Larry rarely loves Lears. That's a trickier one. All right. So there's a few more there for you. Let's do a couple with TH. So the one I've put up here with for TH is a different kind of tongue twister. This is what's called an evolving tongue twister. So you see it's a lot more words. And here, this is the same as this. The difference is that this is longer, a little bit changed and a little bit longer. The third is even more evolved. It's even more changed and even longer with the repetition of the word thought. Okay? So let's try these ones. If you have a tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of water beside you, now is a good time to take a sip. All right, so let's do this together. Ready for it? Again, start slow, then go faster. I thought a thought, but the thought I thought was not the thought I thought I thought. Okay, and watch the intonation as well. So intonation matters in this type of repetitive sentence where the words are repeating. So watch my intonation. Don't just repeat the words, repeat the intonation. I thought a thought, but the thought I thought was not the thought I thought. Okay, let's go to the next one. I thought a thought, but the thought that I thought was not the thought that I thought that I thought. All right, well, messed up a little bit there. Let's try it again. I thought a thought, but the thought that I thought was not the thought that I thought. Okay, now that does make sense. So believe it or not, that sentence actually makes sense. I'm not going to get into interpreting it for you right now, but at home, take a closer look and you'll realize that it's a sensible sentence. It's a nonsensical, sensible sentence. All right, let's go to the next one here. This is the most evolved. So I think I thought a thought that I thought, but I think I thought that the thought that I think was not the thought that I think that I thought. All right. Let's try that one more time. I think that I thought a thought that I thought, but I think that I thought that the thought that I think was not the thought that I think that I thought. Okay? So, you can practice that, these evolving, okay? Training the tongue. So remember, the goal here is getting your tongue to make the sound, okay? So that's what we're doing. All right, let's do a few more of these, and then we'll get into a couple of questions. So let's talk about some tongue twisters with S's. Here we go. So again, remember, start simple. Don't jump right at it, okay? Don't jump into the deep end of the pool right away. Just get your feet wet first. Get the temperature right. Make sure everything's good before you go jumping head first. So repeat individual words. Double them up. S, sh, s, Sam, Sam's, sh, shop, Sam's shop, Sam's shop. Stalks. Stalks, short. Notice how it's sh. Okay? Spotted socks. Sh. So it's sh, sh, s. That's what makes it difficult, okay? Let's try it. Sam's shop stocks short spotted socks. Okay? Different S sounds. Try those out. A little bit faster. Sam's shop stocks short spotted socks. Okay? And if you're feeling confident, you can do it even faster. So here we go. Slit, sheet. By the way, with these tongue twisters, it's a good way to learn vocabulary as well. If you don't know a word, make sure that you look it up. It's hard to learn pronunciation without learning the meaning behind the word. Slit is a cut or an opening. So I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. Okay? One more time. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. Okay, this is one of the classics. She sells seashells by the seashore of the Seychelles. I don't know what that word is. I think that's a location. Seychelles. She sells seashells by the seashore. Often that starts with a girl's name. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Okay? So a lot of S sounds there. S. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. It's one of the classics. That's right, Jubilant James. Okay? All right. So once you've practiced forming these sounds, you've trained your tongue to approximate these sounds as best as possible, then, of course, apply them to proper language. Make up questions that include a lot of these sounds. Make up games that have these sounds. What I've done here for you today is I've created a speaking part 1 for the IELTS, where speaking part 1, the examiner, now very unlikely that this is going to happen in your exam, so don't freak out and panic and throw your IELTS textbook through your window or your computer or something like that. But anyway, this is just for fun, okay? So let's talk about R's, L's, and THs, or ths, okay? So let's talk about R's, L's, and ths. That's your part 1 for your IELTS, all right? So again, imagine you're in the IELTS interview. This might be a nightmare for some of you, I'm sure, but just relax, okay? It's just for fun. It's just for practice. You sit down and the examiner says, "Welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian, please have a seat. Can I see your identification, please?" And you say, "Yes, sure, here you go. Please repeat after me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is speaking practice. I can't hear you. Obviously, it'd be a lot of people talking all at the same time. But I'd like to believe that at home you are repeating me, and I'm not just a dancing, singing monkey in front of a camera. So you're repeating me and practicing your sounds and sentences, okay? So then the examiner says, "Do you work or do you study?" And you say, "Currently, I'm working as a dental hygienist, but I'm continuing my studies abroad in dentistry. I would like to become a dentist, and for this, I'm studying IELTS." Great, good job. Okay, let's talk about R's, L's, and ths. And then the examiner says something like this. Repeat after me. Repeat the question after me. And then we'll come up with some good answers. What rivers, railways, and roads are well known in your community? Okay, one more time. What rivers, railways, and roads are well known in your community? Hi, Manisha. Good to see you in class. I really hope that IELTS exam went well for you. I know you've been working really hard. All right. So what is an answer for this? So give me a nice full sentence, good quality, speaking part 1 answer for this question. What rivers, railways, and roads are well known in your community? Give me something nice. I'll give you an answer, and then let's see what you come up with. In my city of Budapest, a very well-known river is the Danube, which is also one of the largest rivers in the world. There are two famous ring roads that allow commuters to move quickly around the city. In addition, the south, north, and east railway lines intersect in Budapest and connect much of Europe. All right, let's see what you've put up there. Has anybody answered? Somebody says Jordan River is famous in my full sentences, girls and guys, full sentences. Please, I implore you. After all this speaking and writing, look how full my sentence is. You need to do something like that, okay? Guri Sandhu says, please tell me about academic topic. Guri Sandhu, that's way off topic question. I'm not going to jump out of the way right now, but you can send me an email if you're interested about that. Speaking is the same in academic and general IELTS. Achmed says, in my town of Toronto, we have Yonge Street, which is the longest road in the world. Ahmed, thanks for sharing that. I did not know. And I'm Canadian on the other side of Canada. Yeah. All right. Jeffrey says the most famous river in Springfield City is the Peanut Butter River, which divides the city's north and south parts. Very good, Jeffrey. I'm guessing that is a fictitious town, but good for you to make that up. Mercy Phillips says, in my place where I live, River Ganga or Ganga are well known. It's a great fishing river. And during the festive season, it is used to drown the, and I'm guessing you're continuing there on. Alejandro says the Orinoco River is the most important river in Venezuela. There's a lot of water moving through the river, which is used for agriculture and industrial purposes. Sure. Okay, those are some great answers. Again, repeat after me my sentence here. So, in my city of Budapest, a very well-known river is the Danube, which is also one of the largest rivers in the world. There are two famous ring roads, the Little Ring Road and the Big Ring Road, that allow commuters to move quickly around the city, literally. In addition, the south, north, and east railway lines intersect in Budapest and connect much of Europe. Great, some good answers there. All right, here's a nice quick one with the L sound. So repeat after me and then give me your answers. Do you like learning languages? All right, one more time. This is a nice L sound practice here. Do you like learning languages? Do you like learning languages? Give me a nice answer for that. And here I go as well with mine. And you can make the answer into a tongue twister using that sound or using other sounds as well. Or you could just simply answer, okay? All right, answer that question for me. Okay. And I see some students have put up some more about the rivers there. So Asil says, in my city in Syria, there's Alassi River, which goes to Iraq and Turkey as well. Not Turkish. Those are the people, Asil. The country is Turkey. Manisha says, in my city, a renowned river is the Nile, which is the largest river of India. Along with that, there is a cool road which is mostly crowded during the evening because of its services. What's the name of that road, Manisha? Tell me. Okay, do you like learning languages? Yes, I love to learn languages, as these keep my mind fresh and open my world internationally. Well, a little bit of a parallel grammar weakness there, but more or less it's okay. So yes, I love to learn languages as they keep my mind fresh and open my world open my worldly horizons, let's say. Like that, maybe a little bit better. Okay. In fact, I'm not only learning English for school, but also because I love to travel. All right. Let's see what others have said. Jubilon James says, yes, I love learning languages as it not only imparts confidence speaking to foreigners, but also it's fun keeping up with the locals in foreign countries. Okay, I adjusted that a little bit there. Ahmed Dagan says, I love learning new languages. Therefore, I have been trying to reach 3 language courses in the same week. As a result, I can have significant chances to meet various cultures and conventional habits. Excellent answer. Very interesting, Ahmed. Good use of some vocabulary there. Okay. Pachu says, yes, I'm learning languages because it is helpful for my study and travel across the world, across the globe. Good. Alejandro has a question. Do the answers in the speaking part have to be long or short? Alejandro, it's not about long or short. It's more about the answer. So as long as you give the answer, an explanation, and an example when you can, if you can do those 3 in a short form and it's good, it's quality, high marks. If you do it longer in a more expressive way, but it's good, still high marks, okay? So the key here is answer, explain, give me an example. Put the 3 together, say it, stop, wait for the next question, okay? Could be short, could be long, all right? Join your ideas. Okay, Prajim Lama says, oh yes, I love to learn different languages as it is a nice way to build good relationships with people internationally. Prajim, notice my corrections there to make it more clear. All right. Jeffrey says, yes, it is approved that learning a new language helps prevent Alzheimer's, and currently I'm learning Swahili. Wow, really, Jeffrey? Hats off. All right. So let's go to the next question. Here we go. Repeat after me. Do you agree or disagree that reading is really good for relaxing? So one more time. Do you agree or disagree that reading is really good for relaxing? All right, again, it's the R sounds that we're focusing on here. Do you agree or disagree that reading is really good for relaxing? Give me a nice answer to this question here. Yes, Mercy, absolutely. That's why I'm here to help you with my correction. So don't be shy. I encourage all of those wonderful students watching right now to write your comments, okay? I'm here to correct and help. That's what I'm doing. We're practicing pronunciation and good speech, good communication. Okay, I absolutely agree that one of the best ways to relax after a tough day is to curl up with a good book in front of the fireplace and read for an hour or two. In fact, I just got into a great mystery novel called Mystic River. And it is fun for my leisure time. Okay, and it is great for my leisure time. All right, so that's my answer. Let's see what you're coming up with for these. Again, give me nice full answers. This is one where you could easily throw in an example, just make it up. Repeat after me. Repeat my example after me, and then I'll look at some of yours. So I absolutely agree that one of the best ways to relax after a tough day is to curl up with a good book in front of the fireplace and read for an hour or two. In fact, I just got into a great mystery novel called Mystic River, and it is fun for my leisure time. All right. And it is fun reading for my leisure time, a little bit more natural there. Okay, Amardeep Singh says, yes, definitely, I love reading books. And I'm sorry, Amardeep, your comment flew past, so I'll catch your next one, okay? Mohammed Al-Basha says, yes, I agree, because reading helps me to think towards different directions and get broader perspectives. It helps me to stay relaxed and refresh and open my mind. Mohammed, the question is asking, do you agree or disagree that reading is really good for relaxing? You should. It's okay to say we and us for this question, but you should target yourself more, a little bit more clear that way, okay? Mahabir Singh says, oh yeah, I agree with this, and in my opinion, reading is a good way to reduce stress. Mostly, I love general books. Mahampreet, it's a pretty good answer. What do you mean by general books? What do you mean like general books like history books, documentaries, biographies? So I'm not quite sure what you mean by general books, but it looks okay. All right. Murasa says, I strongly agree with this statement because through reading, a person can easily enhance their vocabulary as well as their knowledge. Murasa, you're off topic. It's a good way for relaxing. We're not talking about enhancing knowledge. We're talking about relaxing. I'll get you guys back on camera here. Don't worry. We've got a couple more questions to go through. So make sure you focus on the right controlling idea of the question. Okay? It's very important. All right. So, but some good answers. Okay? It's great. All right? Michael Kabatana says, I'll stick with the statement that reading helps to relax. I frequently read a couple of books every week. When I'm bored, I find that fiction books such as Harry Potter can really entertain me. Okay, good. Michael, I did some fixing there. Pay attention to that. All right, here's an interesting question. I'll let you answer this one. Why do you think, so this is the TH sound. Again, this is a pronunciation practice. So why do you think there are different theories for the origin of thought? Okay, just missing a word here. Let's say that one more time. Why do you think there are different theories for the origin of thought? Okay. You're very welcome, Michael. Again, one more time. Why do you think there are different theories for the origin of thought? Okay. Why do you think there are different theories for the origin of thought? Give me a nice answer for that funky question. Okay. So people have some ideas of where human thinking or idea comes from. There's religious beliefs that our thoughts originate from the creation of God or from eating from the tree of knowledge, whatever that may be. Some people believe that it is an evolution of a scientifically explainable phenomenon, such as the mixing of chemicals. Some people believe that thought has always existed and we've simply built on a seed of eternal existence of thought. So there are different theories around this. Why do you think that different people have different theories of where thought originates from? That's what this question's asking you. I hope that's clear. Different ideas. So Naveen says, well, I think thought is not subjected to a particular subject. That is why many scientists postulate the original thought by their own cognitive methods and perceptions. Naveen, that is a very intelligent and beautiful answer. I highly appreciate that. Good for you. Students, if you missed that one, read Naveen's comment. It is a brilliant answer. Okay, Pallav Chaudhary says, yes, I totally agree that reading is helpful. Okay, we're back on the reading one. Let's get to the thought one here. Nitu Verk says, there are separate theories because every person has different abilities of thinking. Fair enough, Nitu. I'll take that. All right, Pachu says, people have different opinions due to different minds, so the thoughts of a person are different. I think you're thinking a little bit different, Pachu, than what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of different theories. You're thinking of different thinking. But it makes sense, so I'll take it. I get it. Okay. Mercy Phillips says, I think there are different theories for the origin of thought because people think differently. Very nice, Mercy. Great. Great way to use that question. And mine, 150841, says, personally, I think it depends on the perspective and experience of those who give the theories. Absolutely, right? Whatever their background is, their education, their beliefs, their systems, their cultures impact their theories of the origins of thought. Very good. A lot of the TH practicing sounds here. Jubilant James says, in my opinion, I definitely think that there are different theories for the origin of thought because each human body is complex and the mind is unique on its own. Very metaphysical, Jubilant James. I like it. I like it. Okay. So, some great answers there, okay? Some of those answers were quite accurate. Nice, all right? You probably wouldn't have a question like this, obviously, in part one of IELTS. But again, we're kind of having fun with IELTS Part 1 and combining pronunciation practice. So I think there are various hypotheses around the origin of thought because of the different cultural, religious, and educational backgrounds of the theorists. Okay, theorist is a person who thinks of theories. So there's my answer. Repeat again after me the question. Why do you think there are different theories for the origin of thought? I think there are various hypotheses around the origin of thought because of the different cultural, religious, and educational backgrounds of the theorists. Okay, that'll work. All right. Hang in there, ladies and gents. We've got one more question here for this part one fun with IELTS. Have the services in shops changed since you were 7? Okay. Yes, you got it. We are looking at that S sound again. So have the services in shops changed? Correct that there. One more time. Have the services in shops changed since you were 7? Okay. Why did I choose the word 7 instead of since you were a child? Because 7 has another S in there. Just for fun. All right, answer this question for me. Notice something important. Present perfect. Your answer should be present perfect as well. Okay? So give me a nice answer. Let me know. Have the services in shops changed since you were 7? Give me a nice full sentence answer. And maybe even include an example. It might be a good one for that. Okay, I'll come up with an answer as well. Yes, there has been significant changes in the service of shopkeepers since I was a 7-year-old child. Namely, I find that the sellers at stores have become more respectful towards me, likely because I am an adult now. Okay? So that is my answer. Repeat after me and keep working on your answers. I will read a few of them. Okay. So one more time. Have the services in shops changed since you were 7? Repeat after me. Yes, there has been significant changes in the service of shopkeepers since I was a 7-year-old child. Namely, I find that the sellers at the stores have become more respectful towards me, likely because I am an adult now. Okay? All right. Nitu Verk says, yes, there are numerous changes. There have been, Nitu, use that present perfect, numerous changes in shopping methods since the years when I was 7. Okay? Make sure you use that present perfect. Pachu says, yes, certainly the services of shops have changed, not have been. It's active here. Yes, certainly the services of shops have changed due to modern technology and social behavior. It's a great answer. Naveen says, yes, there has been significant alteration since I was 7. The changes corresponding to online modes of payments and door delivery for items purchased are much more recognizable. Good. Another brilliant answer, Naveen. Good. Your brain is really motoring along. It's excellent. Okay. Jeffrey says, yes, there have been a lot of alterations ever since I was a child. Nowadays, I can make my order online and pick it up at the post office or at my nearest convenience store, such as 7-Eleven, but I could not do this before. Okay, good. Allah Mosa Akil says, yes, it has changed. It's changed to be better and bigger. As an owner of a shop at a mall, yeah, Allah, you're on the right track. And yes, it has changed is a great way because you're reflecting the grammar right away, that present perfect, okay? Aditya Kar, yes, it has changed a lot. When I was out for shopping, many shopkeepers used to help me, but nowadays they don't because they have too many customers to attend to and not enough retailers. Okay, good. All right, girls and guys, I have run out of water. My tongue has tired. All these tongue twisters, these R's and L's, these S's and Th's have really fatigued my face, my tongue, and I'm not just kidding. I can literally kind of feel that my tongue is sore. So we are stopping here today, but that is the end of our lesson anyway. You've been wonderful today. Lots of great comments, interactions. Hats off to you. Again, practice pronunciation. Yes, you can improve your pronunciation as long as you attentively, visually practice, train those muscles, do these exercises, use your phone, record yourself, listen back, get those feedback loops working. You can get there, okay? Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I wish you all good rest. I wish your tongues good rest if you're getting ready for bed. Make sure to brush your teeth, rinse your mouth. Your tongue, your teeth deserve it after all this hard work. And I wish you beautiful dreams. And I will see you tomorrow for, I believe, some more speaking. Again, if you want the best and the greatest in IELTS help and practice, join us at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.